Welcome back to The Price of Business. I am William Edmunson, and I am talking to you about you and your business. I'm filling in for the vacationing Kevin Price today, and we're excited to introduce another guest in our feature series about Inc. 5000 companies. We'd like to welcome Mike Doyle of Rent Like a Champion, and their website is rentlikeachampion.com. Mike, welcome.
Hey, William. Thanks for having me today.
Absolutely. Why don't you give us your elevator speech, let us know what you all are all about, and then I'd love to hear about a TV show that you guys were on recently.
Sure, yeah. So Rent Like a Champion is an online vacation rental platform that caters to college football fans. So, what that means is if you're a Notre Dame fan or a Michigan fan, or a University of Texas fan, and you're going to a game, you can come to our website and find a great home to rent near campus instead of splitting up your group into multiple hotel rooms. So
that's awesome.
We're operating now in college towns around the country. We originally started at Notre Dame, and we've been expanding, pretty rapidly over the last few years. And as you kind of just alluded to, we were very fortunate in the last couple of months here to have appeared on ABC Shark Tank, where we actually took on an investment from Mark Cuban and Chris Sacca. So those guys have been really involved for the last couple of months, which has been, definitely a big game changer for the business, and it's been a lot of fun working with them.
Oh, that's fantastic. So what was it like going on the show and getting an offer?
It was, I think, bar none, the coolest experience of my life. Definitely a little bit nerve-wracking, but we made this conscious decision before going out there that we wanted to have fun with this. We really wanted to enjoy the experience. I went on the show with one of my partners, Drew Mitchell, and I think we balanced each other out really well, where, we didn't get too stressed beforehand or anything like that. The actual filming process, it's interesting. I think they say the average pitch is about 45 minutes. They've had pitches last up to 2 hours,
wow.
And obviously they condense all that down to an 8-minute segment to put on television. So as a viewer, you only see a little bit of what happened, but we were in and out of there, I think, in about 20 or 25 minutes. I think our track record kind of spoke for itself a little bit. They understood what we were doing pretty quickly, and like I said, we were fortunate enough to strike a deal. That's great.
Now, I like Shark Tank, and I enjoy hearing the pitches, hearing the ideas that people came up with, and y'all's idea is really cool. But what happens after the deal is struck? That's kind of the part that I think they put a show on now showing some after scenarios. But tell us what it was like after you left the show.
Sure. So one of the interesting things is, whatever deal is struck on the show, it's in essence a handshake agreement. It's not really any sort of legally binding,
right.
Deal or anything like that, which totally makes sense because, that's a lot of money for someone to invest because they've only heard you talk for 20 minutes. And
right.
They didn't have any info about you beforehand. So, when you walk out of the tank, the producers kind of take a step back at that point and they say, if you struck a deal, you work directly with the investor who you struck a deal with on the show. So pretty quickly after filming, we filmed in about June. Pretty much right away, we started going through the diligence process with Mark's team and with Chris's team. Again, just to make sure they were fully comfortable, handing over all our financials, kind of, letting them know all the things that we hadn't been able to cover in the 20 minutes of filming.
Sure.
Going back and forth on term sheets, all those sort of things. So there is this, negotiation process that happens after the show. I think all parties involved, our company and Chris and Mark, were very motivated to close the deal. I mean, we were really excited about working with them.
Oh, absolutely.
So the diligence process for us was, was pretty quick. They were happy with everything they saw, and we closed the deal, within maybe 6 to 8 weeks of filming the show.
That's pretty quick considering all the due diligence and then having the attorneys paper it up. That's great.
Yeah, no, it was an interesting process for sure. And like I said, I think there was a lot of motivation to get it done, and we really wanted to close the deal up before the episode aired. We didn't want to be prepping for airing while we were still, like you said, still dealing with all the legal paperwork and all that kind of stuff. We wanted to get the deal done, and then we could kind of turn our sights to making sure we were ready for the air date.
That's great. Well, I've got a couple other things I want to ask you about. First, sure. I'm sure the listeners are wondering, what a cool idea. You want to go to a game, you take your buddies, and instead of being in separate hotel rooms, you've got a house you're in. And that's really cool. What markets are you guys in, or is this something across the country?
Yeah, I mean, it's, we're not to the point yet where we're in every single college town, but that's the short-term goal. I mean, we'd like to be there within the next few months. We have about 25 markets right now that are pretty strong. Some of our biggest, it's really the type of schools that you'd expect, traditionally, schools that are powerhouse football programs that have pretty rabid fan bases. Schools like Notre Dame, Michigan, Penn State, Ole Miss, Auburn, Alabama, Florida State, Georgia, those types of programs. But, geographically, we're really spread. I mean, we're based in Chicago, but, since this is an online business, we're spread all around the country. Tend to have a pretty high concentration of locations in the South just because the football is so huge down there and the fans are so passionate.
Absolutely.
But, really, we're all over the place.
Well, that's really cool. Now, tell me, you guys are an Inc. 5000 company. So tell me what that means to you guys and to your business.
Yeah, I think that was a really, we kind of applied on, I think a friend sent it over and just said, hey, you guys should apply for this. And, we don't want to get too caught up on awards or accolades or anything like that, but it was definitely a nice, affirmation of, I think, all the hard work we've done over the past 2 years. And, by no means are we done, right? We still have a long way to go. There's still a lot we want to accomplish. But, yeah, it was definitely a nice, kind of little pat on the back, and we definitely celebrated it as a team when we got the word.
That's awesome. Now, do me a favor, if you would, give everybody your website again so people who are interested in it can find out more.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, it's Rent Like a Champion. So it's just rentlikeachampion.com. On Facebook, on Twitter, have a toll-free number listed on the site, 855-BIG-GAME. So we try to be, very accessible, very easy to get in touch with.
That's great. Easy is good.
Right.
Well, any closing comments you have? We've got about a little over a minute left, and there are just so many things I could talk with you about this for hours. But tell us any closing comments or big things you want to share.
Yeah, I mean, I think one kind of exciting thing we're working on now, obviously now that the football season has wound down a little bit, we're really starting to expand to other large events that happen in smaller towns. So, things like PGA events and NASCAR races and other, events like that where this influx of people is too much for the hotel capacity to really support in smaller towns. So, any big events that people are heading to, be it sporting events or whatever the case may be, definitely reach out to us. I mean, we're starting to branch out beyond just college towns. And, again, we want to be eventually the preeminent provider for event-based rentals in the country.
Sure. Yeah, I had the opportunity to go to the Masters one year, and I think everybody who lives in Augusta packs their closets and rents their house out for the Masters.
Yeah, I had a conversation with someone who lived in Augusta once. It was funny. They essentially talked about how when they're buying a house, they budget into the fact that they'll have an extra $10,000 to $20,000 to pay towards their mortgage because they know they can rent it out for the week of the Masters for big money. So it's definitely a way of life down there, and everybody seems to do it.
Yeah, it's a smart thing if you live down there.
Absolutely.
Well, this is really great stuff. We just are very excited about you guys going on Shark Tank, and thank you for sharing your experience about that with us. That's really great. And thanks for letting us know what happens after the cameras stop.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I enjoyed it. Thank you again for having me, William. I had a good time.
Absolutely. We appreciate it, and good luck to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. This is William Edmunson, and you are listening to The Price of Business.